What's going on, everybody? Tim from Tirfon Orbital. I would like to do a very quick demo slash walkthrough video for a commission that I recently finished. This is for another one-off hilt from Space Junk Sabers. However, this is actually Nevin from Space Junk Sabers. This is his personal hilt. He recently sent me a couple of hilts for install for the client, and he included this one with the intention of possibly, he wanted me to maybe assist with a Xeno pixel board, or possibly put a new chassis with a Xeno board in it into this hilt. And nothing against Xeno boards, but I'm mainly a Proffie workshop. I do CFX as well, but yeah, it was, in my opinion, Nevin needed something a little bit better than a Xeno. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but yeah. So I said, no, we're just going to put a Proffie in it. So not a terribly unique chassis. This is actually really based off of the chassis that I recently put in at the Tusken Slayer from CCsabers. It's essentially the same chassis with some modifications. Like, I modified it to accept a 28mm speaker because there was room for that in the pommel area of this hilt. And that's it. I did the same onboard LEDs as well. So we'll talk about the chassis a little bit. I'm not going to get into fusion or anything. I just want to talk about how to use the hilt. And this is a one-button setup, so it's a little bit different than your usual two-button setup with Proffie. And yeah, we'll talk about the hilt a little bit, and we'll be on our way. We'll do a demo, obviously, put a blade in it. Why not, right? So let's talk about the hilt, right? So this is actually, so I don't know what Nevin's calling this, or what he calls it. I call it the Mara or Maraflex. There is a top section that is very reminiscent of Mara Jade's hilt with this, with these fins up top here. Yeah. Again, like, it's just another super unique, really well made hilt from Nevin. Nevin did tell me that this was a little bit of an older hilt that's kind of just been sitting in his wheelhouse for a little while now, and I just wanted to get a really, like, a good premium board in it, right? So we've got single button setup, nice red button here. This is just a plunger switch, so this will make a connection to the chassis when it's inside of the hilt, right? You know, guys, I'm sorry, I don't know which Graflex this is from, or if it's even from a Graflex. I should know that, but I don't. But again, like, it's hard to tell where Nevin gets all these parts from. It's really just super unique parts. There's like a heat sink up here. I do know that this is from a Graflex. This bottom section. We've got a D-ring down here. Of course, we've got some fins. So yeah, just a nice, simple, unique hilt. You know, I told Nevin too, like, of the last hilts that he sent me, this is probably one of my favorites, just because of its, you know, simplicity. Yet it's familiar, yet not too familiar. You know, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's talk about the chassis as well. So here is the chassis. Like I said, it's the same, almost the same chassis as I put in the ones that I put in the Tusken Slayers. We've got a 28mm speaker down here. This is from Jeremy at the Saber Merchant. I did do, on this particular one, I did a pass with oil, pewter, rub and buff, and there is some like rust, Tamiya weathering pigment rust on the inside where all these greeblies are. These are two square LEDs. They're both their own blade in the config. So one pulses and one blinks, if I recall correctly. And a single onboard tactile switch. This is what the red button depresses when the chassis is fully inside of the hilt. And of course, just a 3-rail. This is just a blade side PCB that makes a connection to the top of the hilt, right? Nice and easy. So to use the hilt, you want to take the flat part of your battery, or the negative side, put it down towards that spring, hit your kill switch.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
Okay, there's those square orange LEDs. So I did put a set screw on the inside of this hilt to help guide where the chassis needs to slide in place. I like to look at it as this. So like, you know, you want the switch to be where that red button is. So you kind of want to feel where that groove is, right? And then slide it all the way in until it stops. And then you screw the pommel in, and that's made a connection to that switch, right? Not a connection, but now it's in perfect alignment, so that switch depresses that tactile switch. So let's come down here. So this is a single button Proffie set up with the new, it's on OS 6. So I had to school myself on single button again. It's been a while. I don't have any single button hilts that are installed. I'm not a big fan of single button, but with FET's new prop file, it's a lot easier to use, right? So to switch your fonts, you want to long press while the hilt is pointing up. It will move forward in your font directory. And if you point it down, long press and release, it will go back, right? So,
hello, Zuko here.
See what else we got.
Now this is pod racing.
Twist to activate, twist to deactivate are both enabled, right? To trigger blast, it's double press of the button while the hilt is on. And then all your flashes work and all that good stuff. To hit the music player, you want to long press while it is off, pointing up. Sorry, it's got to be on to do that. It's not a very loud soundtrack. You can hear it now. Anyway, sorry. Let's get a blade in this guy, okay? All right, so I'm going to take my blade plug out. Set my blade in until it stops and it's resting on those pins. Tighten your set screw. You're good to go. Yeah, it's like just a really, really nice, super solid hilt.
Strike me down. I shall be.
So to trigger lockup, you want to clash and hold the button. See what else we got.
Lord Vader.
Nice. It's nice. Just a nice, simple, yet unique hilt, and feels really good. So, just a nice quick demo this is actually for Nevin, so I'm sure you're watching. Again, I feel like you needed a Proffie in your hilt, man. And that's not just because I'm biased and I love Proffie board. It's just because you deserve a premium soundboard in one of your hilts. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate the support. If anyone has any questions or comments, please don't be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Thanks for watching.